How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top workshop skins this week. If you're new, it doesn't mean these skins aren't available yet or ever will be. It just means they have the potential to be. Every week, the game's lead dev and original creator, Helk, goes ahead and picks out 8 or so skins and puts them in the shop, and they rotate out and change every week. So these are the best ones submitted this week, so to say. So moving on, and in, we've got a hoodie and pants set for you. It is the wrapped set. The whole thing kind of looks like it's all just a bunch of random pieces of cloth wrapped together. I mean, lives up to its name. You got some like caution tape in there, and then you've got a bunch of gray and yellow cloth. Definitely fits really nicely into the kind of scrappy idea of Rust. Next, we have another hoodie for you. This is the Red Basilisk set, and the whole thing kind of has like a little bit of an armored look to it, but not too much to where you would think it's actual armor, so it's still within that safe realm. Definitely has a really nice look to it. Also like that it's not like super shiny, it does have some kind of wear to it and so forth, which I think still makes it fit nicely. Next, we got some gold for you with the Unseen Gold set. And yeah, it's just basically this kind of like cracked gold look, which I think is quite nice. A lot of people definitely love to see this kind of bling pop into the shop for sure. And then it has this like really greasy undershirt that just like is the opposite of what the rest of the set is, which I think was pretty funny. Next, we got a bucket helmet skin for you, and yeah, that's right. Bucket helmets don't pop in that often, and they don't really sell that well because, well, people don't really use them for anything. But hey, every once in a while a skin pops in, maybe we'll get one. And right here we've got an upside down trash bin that's been turned into a helmet, which is just a perfect use of it. Next, we've got some road sign gloves for you, and they should look pretty familiar to you as they're part of their recycling set. They have a nice little green sheen to them, and then the little lights that you would know from the set. They don't actually light up, but they do actually stand out quite well, which I think is nice. Next, we've got a continuation with the Abyss set with the road sign, and it's got all sorts of twists and turns and teeth and armored bits to it. Multiple faces everywhere. Definitely a very crazy looking thing that fits just perfectly in with the rest of the set. Next, we have a very cool looking set, the Ice King set. And yeah, it's just got this really awesome cutout mask with this really cool ice drip. And the ice makes a crown at the top, which I think is really cool. Then you kind of have like the icy sideburn, side cheeks kind of going on. Icy cheeks. The wrong kind of cheeks, I guess. Anyways, you got some symbolism on the front here, but just has this nice sheen to it. You also have some more going along the sides of the straps. And there we have it. Next up, we've got some watermelon high qual for you with the watermelon, or melon. Yeah, there's lots of E's in there. I'm not stroking out, guys. The name actually just has multiple E's. So there you go. I like how they like carved out the face and the kind of like abs with leaving the outer shell. It's definitely a cool little design. Same thing kind of like with a back spine. And yeah, it's definitely one of the more creative versions of a fruit armor set, I guess? Clothing set? Whatever you want to call it. Last but not least, we have this really awesome carved out set, the Lullaby set. And yeah, just, oh man, the whole thing looks ancient and runic, and it's just really, really cool. I just love the design, the sculpting to it. Just the more you look at it, the more you can kind of see like the little details. And it just does look like something that someone in Rust sat there and spent hours on making in game. It still kind of has that kind of look that it could be plausibly done without, you know, being an actual Justice skin. And yeah, definitely very creative. Alright, next up we've got our deployables, and we've got a very grim looking sleeping bag for you to start off. The Death Bed, aptly named, as it basically is this sleeping bag with skulls on it, and the whole thing looks like it's already halfway covered in dirt. So very early grave. Next, we've got some boxes for you. First one here has kind of like an old-timey look to it. This is the Antique Safe. Definitely a very cool looking idea. You can see like the mechanism there on the top. Definitely one of those more unique boxes. Then over here, speaking of unique, we've got a continuation in our Coliseum set that we've seen a few pieces pop in. So now we've got a Coliseum box, which I think translated really beautifully. Then over here, we've got a shot at a possible another set with Squid's electric, let's see. Oh, yeah, electric set. So electric box set, and this is the meds storage. So there we go. Electric storage set by Squid Meds. I also like the kill and raid buttons there. Next, we've got one last box for you. It's kind of cushy, fancy, old-looking casket box. So there you have that. Look, there goes cargo. Hello, cargo. Next, we've got some furnaces, or fornai, or whatever you want to call them. First one up here is a brick furnace. Has two versions, one with and without the graffiti, so to say, so you wouldn't have like the little high qual and the collect wood and the feed me, but they just fit so perfectly. Also like the little thing where it looks like it's being stoked with wood from underneath right there. Then we've got another furnace for you, and this one has a very kind of rock look to it. This is the black glass furnace, so basically kind of like an obsidian kind of idea. Definitely a very cool little look. Then over here we've got a silly little avocado for you, and yeah, it's got complete arms and everything. Looks like he's browning a bit, but hey, definitely has a funny, happy little face. Speaking of funny and crazy looking, look at this one here. This one is great. This is the furry furnace, and it's just hilarious. You gotta love it. Just, it has that kind of like Muppet kind of something going on, you know what I mean? Next over here, we've got a wax furnace for you, and this one is by Oasis. I can't speak there. You can see the bottom has kind of like a scaling going on. And then you've just got the drip of the candle wax going down, and it has some cool little spots that we'll show you when we do the glow. Next over here, we've got a little fridge. I almost said furnace again. This is the emoji fridge, and as you can see, it has some of the rust emojis dotted across it, but mostly just kind of looks like a retro old kind of blue refrigerator, which is a cool look. And also, Emojis is the brand. Next, we got a few rugs for you. The first one up here is this cute little turtle rug. Then we've got the frog rug from Milo, who made the frog cosplay set. Then over here we've got some icy rugs if you want to make your base look all icy inside with the ice lake rug. Ice leg. Yeah, this is icy lake, guys, definitely. Next over here we've got a tiger for you with, well, the tiger rug. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Definitely has that nice kind of like hook rug look to it, kind of. Next, we've got a big old sticker for you, and it is the hazmat sticker rug. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. It's a sticker rug. Then we've got a few doors for you. Starting off, we've got a wooden door for you. This one is the bone altar wooden door. And yeah, it's got all bones kind of tied to it, some leather hanging, and a deer skull. If we go ahead and take a look on the other side, you've got some more hanging bones as well. Next, we've got the tugboat door, and when this thing gets strapped onto a tugboat, it just fits perfectly. Definitely one that seems kind of plain, but honestly, it is just great. I do wish maybe it had like a little light right here or something. I think that's what would make it perfect. Next, we've got another door for you. This comes in two versions, a blue and a red. We've got the red one here for you, and this is the reincarnation door. I'm not sure if I want to reincarnate that way. Next, over here, we've got a very crystal-y door with the sapphire door. Definitely has a nice kind of icy feel to it with that deep blue of the sapphire, and nice little trim around the edges there. Next, we've got a very cool door. This is all sorts of kind of reflective. It's the fragile glass door. Whole thing does look like it's glass, but man, it's really cool to kind of see things reflect off of it, you know? Next, we've got a V2 of the Constellation sheet metal door for you. Then, moving on, we've got some garage doors. First one here is the Mecha garage door, spelled with a 3 instead of an E, by Duck. Comes in two different color versions. There's a kind of orangey light, and then there's this one with the green light, which you'll see. Then over here, we've got a continuation with the Molten set or Infernal set, sorry, with the Infernal garage door. Yeah, it has molten metal, but it is the Infernal set. Also like the glow on the top here, which you guys will see better here shortly. Then we've got a very nice looking door. This one's very kind of industrial. It's scrapped together. It's bloody. It's pieces of the Bradley, and it's, well, simply the Bradley garage door. And I think this one is my vote for most fitting the game this week. That looks awesome. Speaking of awesome, we've got some really cool art over here with the garage door Mrs. Wolves. And yeah, it just features a Rust lady wearing a wolf helmet, which, man, a custom wolf helmet like that would even be cool. So, hey, maybe if the garage door makes it, they could make a wolf helmet to go along. That would be real cool, but wolf helmet cannot be skinned, sadly. But hey, you guys could always vote for it. I always stick that link down in the workshop links. Then over here, we've got a very ancient looking garage door, some cool sculpting. This is the Stone Griffin garage door. Moving on, we've got a continuation in the constructor set with the armored door. And yeah, this whole thing just looks crazy, and it just really kind of looks like someone really did just build it out of a little constructor set. Then lastly, but not least, we've got a version 2 of the Tropics Land armored double door. So there you go with that one. Of course, they have two opposite kind of sides. We can go ahead and kill our lights here. You'll see it doesn't actually have a glow, but this constructor door does very brightly. So cruise on down. There is a very cool glow to the eyes on the wolf door. Then we've just got this really kind of, I don't know, very atmospheric glow to the Bradley door. And if you want something real bright, these two definitely hit that mark for sure. Of course, the Constellation door. That sapphire door just has such a nice deep blue. Definitely cool with this one. Then if we have to go all the way down here to our furnaces, and we've got that candle, and as I said, there's little multiple holes around, as you can see much better here with the effect at night. Then all the rest of these furnaces pretty much have similar glow. This one does have kind of like a glow through on the avocado, which I think is pretty funny. Lights up the cheeks quite a bit. And the leaves up top. And then we got a normal glow there. And then we've got a couple of the windows on this one here. And then for our boxes, Coliseum lights look awesome on this. And this one looks really good too. Very kind of steampunky feel. Alright, next up we got our tools and weapons. We got a couple of hammers for you. And this one is a V2 of this crazy train monster hammer thing. And if you go ahead and kill our lights, you can see that it does have some pretty awesome little glow going on with it. Then we've got another hammer for you, and this one should be pretty familiar looking as it is part of the smoldering set, which we do have a few different pieces of. And we'll go ahead and kill the lights again to see that glow there. Then we've got a silly hammer. This should also be pretty familiar as it is the Capybara set. And yeah, I mean, there you go. Capybara hammer. Next, we've got a rock for you, and this thing just kind of looks like a lump of flesh with tentacles, and well, it's called the Parasite Rock, so that's pretty much kind of what's going on there. Definitely very wet looking. Next, we've got Spazzing Out Rock, apparently. This is the Dorian Rock, and yeah, if you don't know what these are, you should look them up. It's a crazy fruit. And yeah, it's one of those things that smells awful, like beyond all things. But apparently, it's worth trying to eat it, depending who you talk to. And then some people just say, yeah, it smells bad and it tastes bad. But anyways, it's definitely a fun little thing for a rock skin. Next, we've got another rock for you, and this one just looks like an old rusty weight. It's the version 2 of the heavy rock. And yeah, definitely looks a lot better, you know, some smoothed out sculpts there, and I think some improvement to the rust it looks like as well. Next, we've got one last rock for you here, and you can see it has a nice little shine going on. This is the Gemstone Rock. Definitely a very pretty shiny one. I can see a lot of people liking for that fact. Next, we've got a tool set for you this week, and it is very nicely sculpted, kind of like cut out look to it. This is the Winter Hawk set. Of course, we have a matching pick, which also is cut out. They have nice little ridges there on the bottom. Then we've got a knife for you, and this one basically looks like it is made out of a circuit board. You can even see the little cobalt writing right there. Definitely a fun idea. Then we've got another machete sword for you. Definitely a very cool one, made by the person who made the last one, but this is the ritual machete. It has two versions, one that has like a full hilt and this one that has kind of like the cut one, and the cut out for the circles as well. Then we've got a bow for you, and this one has a very kind of ancient look to it. You can see kind of like the cave etchings and scratchings and drawings there. This is the primal hunting bow. Go ahead and do a little twirl around so light can hit differently. You can even see a little rust symbol up in there. Next, we got some crossies, and the first one here is part of the black gold set. This has always been a very popular set, so I could definitely see this one having a high chance of going into the shop this week, but you never know. Aiming down the sights here, you can see nice shine going on. And there we have it. Next, we've got another crossie for you, and this one has a very kind of cobbled together look. This is the Tinsmith crossbow. Aiming down the sights here, you can see some twisted piping. And there it is. Next, we've got a more fleshy looking one for you with the demonic crossbow. And yeah, this is definitely a kind of trippy looking one. Definitely looks like it's all made out of bone and tissue. We'll go ahead and reload it there. And take one last look there. Then moving on, we've got a shoddy for you. And this DB here is part of the Apache set. So it is, of course, the Apache DBS. Definitely has a very nice bright look, which I'm sure is what drew people to the other parts of the set. Go ahead and pop a reload there. And there we have it. Next, we've got some actual pumpies for you. And the first one here, you can see, has kind of like a simple design, but it just kind of fits rust. You can see a lot of people liking this one. It's the Booster Pumpy. Aiming down the sights, you got a black tip and then a silver star on the tube there. Next, we've got one more Pumpy for you, and this one has kind of like a happy flowers, kind of swampy look. This is the Soldier Custom, and so yeah, it's kind of got that peace and war thing going on. Aiming down the sights, you got this big old smiley face and just a kind of iron tip. And there's that reload. Next, we got some pistols for you, starting off with some yokas, and this is the corn yoka, which, you know, you gotta love it. It looks like someone just shoved some metal into a corn husk and bent it, and there you're going. Definitely love the creativity on that. Next, we've got one more yoka for you, and this one's more on the electronics kind of side. This is the Rad yoka. And it doesn't actually glow. It looks like those pieces might, but they don't. Next, we've got some Revies, and the first one up here looks like it's all old and beaten up, and well, it's called the Elderly Revolver, so that's probably why. Definitely looks like this thing has seen some time on the field. Aiming down the sights here, you got some rusted old sights. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another old kind of looking revolver for you. This one has a nice kind of yellowy, goldy look to it. This is the Gold Skull Revolver. There's also another version that comes in black and silver, more or less, I guess. So you basically, the black on here would become silver and the yellow would become black, if that makes sense. Aiming down the sights here, you got a little rust symbol, kind of looks like an aviation thing. I like how they did that. And there's that reload. Next, we've got a Python for you. And this one is a continuation in the From Heaven set. And as you can see, it has a bright, bright blue going on. Aiming down the sights here, you have a nice golden tip with gold on the backing. And this does have a glow and a non-glow version. So if we go ahead and kill the lights, you can see this thing really does light up. There you have that. Then we've got a sap for you this week, and it's a tasty looking treat. Kind of has like a chocolate covered donut look going on. Well, it's because it is the donut sap. It also comes in a strawberry version, which you can check out in the workshop link down in the video description every week. Also love the little tiny donut on the trigger. Alright, next up we've got a Tommy for you, and it's part of the anime set, so you can see the little kind of like frustration thing, and there's a little glisten up there up front. Aiming down the sights here, everything's just kind of a solid black color, though. I feel like they could have maybe put a little another glisten or something back there. But yeah, there you have it, the anime Tommy. Next, we've got some customs for you. This first one has a very beautiful flower design to it. This is the fuchsia custom. Aiming down the sights here, you have a beautiful fuchsia, of course, you know, go with the name there, and a pink tip versus the kind of grayish look. Next, we've got one more for you, and this one's way on the other side with a nice kind of trippy tie-dye look to it. This is the Hypno Custom SMG. It's also got some nice gold around at the edges, and you've got the kind of trippy rainbow sights with mostly green kind of mid-sight. Definitely a very cool design to this one. Next, we've got the Panther Custom SMG for you. It comes in two versions, a stockless, as this one is, and a stocked one, of course, or, you know, one with a stock. It feels weird to say stocked. What's it stocked with? Anyways, this one has nice red dots like the rest of the guns, and then that panther eye judging you. There's that nice reload. Next, we've got some MP5s for you, and this MP5 right here has a crazy kind of look to it. It is the Ritual MP5, so it kind of has all these kind of etchings, and then you've got the nice wood grip and stock. Aiming down the sights here, you have a nice little green tip to the very worn-looking sights. Last but not least, in this group, we've got a last MP5 for you, and this one is all sorts of colored up with that purple and gold. This is the Line MP5, and yeah, I have to say, it has some nice looking line work. Lives up to its name, right? Aiming down the sights here, you've got purple and gold like the rest of the design. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some rifles for you, starting out with the SARS. This first one here has a very geometrical kind of look to it. This is the SAR.object, and yeah, definitely love this kind of design to it. Very creative, and you know, it's not the most colorful, but it definitely still pops. Same thing, especially with the trigger guard. Definitely love the look of that. Aiming down the sights here, and we'll go ahead and do a reload. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and this one has kind of a, I don't know, kind of industrial look to it. It almost looks like it's made out of things that maybe were like band supply casing or something like that. I don't know, but it's got some skulls because, you know, everyone loves skulls. Aiming down the sights here, we've got a nice red middle tip. Next up, we've got another SAR for you. This has got some purpley pink all over it. This is the Sanzaru? Yep, I think I'm saying that right. As you can see, you got the whole, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil going on the side there. Aim down the sights. There's also a, God, excuse me, my voice is disappearing there. We've got a purpley dripping kind of paint skull hidden in there, but not too much going out the sides. Do wish we maybe had a bit of purple on them there, or another color to go with it. Maybe a nice white kind of shiny tip. Next up, we've got a very shiny SAR. This one's very, very kind of metallic-y, and it's trying to capture a kind of like beetle skin. And I think they did a good job on it. And when you aim down the sights, you see that beetle bug thing staring right back at you. This one does have a nice little shiny tip that's green and purple, and then you got that black and other purple color to contrast. And there's that reload. Next, we've got some AKs for you. First one up is part of the Pirate set. So, of course, well, this is the AK-47 Pirate. I mean, pretty straightforward there. You can say the same thing. Has a kind of map stretched over it with some bones painted on over. X marks the spot when you aim down the sights, and you've got a nice white versus red for the tips. Next, we've got a very, very different looking AK, and this whole thing just it looks like brushed steel or titanium or something like that, and it just has a very new look to it, very sci-fi, and well, it's sci-fi aluminum, so there we go, brushed aluminum. AK. Aiming down the sights here, you've got that red aluminum versus the silvery. And there's our reload. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one has a very kind of hand-drawn art style. And yeah, it's the Red Eye AK-47. Now there is kind of like a barcode on there. I know Hulk usually doesn't like barcodes or that kind of look, so hopefully that doesn't cause too much of a problem for it there. But definitely some cool art. Aiming down the sights, you've got a big old error and a green tip versus the red there. Next, we've got some LRs, and we're starting off with one that's definitely very kind of military looking. Definitely love this kind of like painted polymer kind of look to it. This is the Flashback LR300, and yeah, this just fits Rust so beautifully. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a nice simple red tip, which isn't too bad, but there are some details to the metal at least, which is always nice. And there's that reload. Next, we've got a very beautiful looking artwork on the side of this one here with the flowers and everything. This is the Floral Welfare LR. Definitely love the beautiful colors on this one. Aiming down the sights here, again, just kind of a simple red sight, but it's always appreciated to have the different colors. Next, we've got a continuation in the banana set with the LR Nana. And yeah, I mean, probably safe bet to think this one will pop into the shop. So far, the set has been doing pretty good, so I'd be shocked not to see it pop in, but there have been a few pieces skipped, so you never know. As with the rest, there's kind of faint green tint to the sight to help you differentiate it a bit. And we'll go ahead and do a reload for you. Then we've got another LR for you, and this one has some very awesome art painted on with these kind of like screaming skulls. This is the Brainwasher LR. Definitely really cool art. Love the beat up look of the rifle itself. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a black tip with a little bit of red to it. It almost looks like a rusty tint, and then a bit of a tan to the ring. Definitely looks, like I said, very beat up, which fits nicely. Then, last but not least, we've got a satchel charge for you, and the whole thing just looks like it's a little stone box. And yeah, it's a simple idea, but you gotta love the look of it. The stone satchel. So there you go, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below which ones you're hoping will make it in this next week the most and why. I always love hearing back from you guys, so whatever kind of feedback you have, or if you just want to say hi, I always appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay rusty.